Fashion and art have merged over the past few years. The definition of fashion is a popular trend, especially in styles of dress. Fashion can be used to express yourself, show something, and change the world. Fashion over time has helped to move the world. It was used during the Civil Rights Movement to show that people fought in unity. It was also used during the Women's Rights Movement. Art has also influenced the world. In the early 18th century, art was mainly used to show religion. It slowly shifted to show things like politics and to inspiring people. The modern definition of art is something that is created with imagination and skill that is beautiful. This definition is inaccurate though because sometimes art is not beautiful. Sometimes it is even painful to look at, but you can argue that it's beautiful. That's the thing. There is no set and solid definition of art because it can be interpreted by people differently. Virgil Abloh is a fashion designer behind the brand Louis Vuitton and his own brand Off-White. He has also worked with Nike. Most notably, he has worked with Takashi Murakami, an artist that will be important later in the podcast. Virgil's website talks about how his work is released and inspired. The website says, Off-White is a fashion label rooted in current culture at taste level particular to now, with a specific opinion and not necessarily same with vision seasonal men's and women's collections are offered. One of my favorite pieces one of my favorite pieces from Virgil and the off-white industrial belts. They were inspired by caution tape. Yes, I said caution tape. That may seem very weird, but they are extremely popular. Most people have heard about Kanye West. If you haven't, then you're doing something wrong. Kanye has a brand named Yeezy. Random fact, the artist Takashi Murakami has also did an album cover for Kanye. To keep this simple, I will only be talking about the Adidas Yeezy partnership shoes. The most popular silhouette of Yeezys is the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350. There are probably over 50 colorways of this shoe. Several of these colorways are very similar, typically in a tan or white color. A lot of Kanye's work is very earthy colors. Kanye is always changing things, though. He has a lot of samples that are very crazy. Furnace says, Pirate. Bear with me on this one. Similar traits include being unafraid to jump ship moving from Nike to Adidas in 2013, having completely unapologetic attitude to life. Just look at his Twitter account. Taking shots at enemies, example Taylor Swift, and having a knack for collecting gold, 212 awards under his belt and counting. So if Kanye is the modern day Blackbeard, then what is his booty? No, it's not Kim. It's the Adidas Yeezy sneakers, of course. And the holy grail of the treasure, the Yeezy Boost 350. Kanye is definitely something. So are his designs. They are sort of similar to the designs of Jerry Lorenzo, just they played a little bit more with the silhouette rather than the colors. Most people have heard about Kanye West. If you haven't, then that brings us to Jerry Lorenzo. He typically uses very basic designs with high quality materials. He typically creates sweatpants style pants with modern designs and stitching. My favorite of all his pieces is the Nike Air Fear of God 1 Triple Black. This is a simple design that uses different textures to make the shoe seem very complex. I found an interview from Jerry, and here's a quote from it. It is actually more sophisticated than throwing a tailored piece next to something that's relaxed. It's not just putting on a blazer that makes it right. My looks are super intentional. I can tell you where each design to work, whether it's going to the movies, or going on a date, or running to catch a flight. It kind of reminds me of Kanye's work. It's simple in colors, but very nice cuts and very nice silhouettes. Kanye played a little bit more with design, and his are very out there. And Jerry plays a little bit more with the textures and leveling. Takashi Murakami is an artist that makes beautiful and amazing art. I told you he would be important, and he really is. His work is bright, detailed, and very colorful. He made art for Kanye and has worked with brands like Supreme, Louis Vuitton, and Off-White. I almost don't even know what to say about his art. I suggest Googling his name to see some. I want some of his art, but it's very expensive. Takashi Murakami is an artist that makes beautiful and amazing art. Takashi Murakami is an artist that makes beautiful and amazing art. His work is bright, of pop culture, history, and fine art. His art is very, very influential. It has inspired a lot of young artists to do what they do now. This entire podcast has been trying to narrow in on the one thing. Why and how do art and fashion connect? They are both being used to show people how someone feels and to show a message to other people. Consider art, consider fashion a wearable art. They have slowly become one, and this can be shown through the collaboration between Cause and Jordan. But before I get into that, I want to tell you who Cause is. Cause is an artist from Jersey City. He initially started his career with graffiti. He made a name for himself in the late 1990s and early 2000s. You may be thinking that seems outdated, that was over 15 years ago, but his work is still famous and collectible. There's a massive 15,000-pound statue in Los Angeles that was put there in 2016, not that long ago. So now that you know a little bit about him, here's an article I found. Followed up his return to streetwear by reconciling his relationship with Nike in 2017, this time working with Jordan Brand. In early March, the long rumored Jordan Brand Cause collaboration was finally confirmed. The gray suede Air Jordan 4, equipped with glow in the dark outsoles and the artist's patented X's on the heel, the ultra hyped sneaker dropped alongside apparel that harkened back to the original fake days, with oversized cartoonish graphics. The Cause Jordan 4 ex- exceeded a response similar to the artist's prized 2015 collaboration with Bape. NBA players flexed them on court, and the shoes became the most coveted and valuable release of 2017. I use this article to show that art and fashion have slowly become one. Use fashion to express yourself and stray away from trends while still keeping style. Inspire. Tell a story and have a message. That is the art of fashion.